kinda lost and find. Ended the game in overtime, drawing of a new design, drilling that one earth of mine. Looking to the outward, speaking roundabout words, absurd, blurred to the curb, walking along the verge.
Hey everybody, what is happening? East Yellow Ish bringing you another part of my Houston Texans Madden 17 offensive ebook here. And today we're going to get into the shotgun ace pair flex, number 2 of 13. Not a full scheme because there's only a couple plays I really use in here, so we'll get into a breakdown. The PA slot post right here. We'll get into a little bit deeper breakdown though, since we're only going to really have a few plays that we're going to get into. And two of them are kind of similar here, you know, kind of looking like this one. So we're going to get this one in the breakdown against cover 2. I really like this one against cover 2. We're going to be focusing on the wide receiver because he's normally going to get caught up by the linebacker out there, and the user really won't pick up on him. We're almost always going to do an up, like a straight up bullet, you know, for the pass lead right here, and that's who's going to get behind him. So once you see him release off of the linebacker, released off of whoever's, you know, picked him up, normally a linebacker, and then get behind him, you can pretty much throw an up bullet. And see out down here with the B, you can put B on a curl, an in, or a drag. Recommended any of those. Not really gonna look at the tight end, the first tight end on this one, but the other formations I will. But right here, really, what I'm gonna look for is, you know, is to hit that play. And again, you're going to want to put like an in or something like that if you've got a user in there, just to keep him down low, bit down on that. So he's going to think that the Y's picked up and not drop back deep on there. Otherwise, you still have the ability to hit the X on the that deep in, kind of when he checks up. But a lot of times you're going to hit that. That'll still be open, but you know, so those are the options that you'll really be looking for on at least specifically for the cover 2 out here. You know, like I say, with the B, you can, you know, if you want to do an out, you can do it out. But mostly, I like to bring him on the inside, especially if there's a user out there, because you know, you don't see it as much right in here. But you know, like I say, there's the deep end. But you know, that curl will sit there after everything's broken up if you know, if he's running around with the user, locking stuff up also. So you have two options, kind of you'll have an underneath, a mid, and a deep route on that one, kind of to go for. But again, just get the feel for this Y one though, and you can hit him. You can even let it get out a little bit further. I like to hit him not long off of the release though, just myself. So let's go and take a look against this same play against a cover 3, maybe a cover 3 match here, something like that. And on this one, you know, on the next two, I'll be looking more for the tight end, that A route, to really get the best separation overall with that one. You're going to want to have an underneath route and something to stretch it. You know, here it is. You know, you can still make it work without bringing out a streak on the other side, as you see, because you still want someone trail that. But it's see, the window is a lot tighter that way. So ideally, you want something that's going to be able to go out and stretch that while also bringing that back to, you know, down to the bottom. That's why B will put more on a flat instead of the out. We want to keep the separation as much as possible. We're going to have the X falling back. If the user leaves the area chasing the A, X will be in that middle vicinity there. You know, when you're doing stuff against a computer, you may not see that as much. So, you know, I'm trying to take into account what the user's going to be doing on that play also. So, and really, you can take any. You can take the running back. You can take either receivers on the left and bring them on the streak out here to the right. So, just showing that it's going to work in all different ways on that. And then once you see that A breaking, he got caught up. So I held it for a second because I saw that he kind of bumped up on that linebacker there, but you know, in man coverage like that, they're going to normally beat that. So as long as you got a good tight end, there's the deep end. Again, will work on this play also. It's not going to work on the cover 4, but you know, in most cover 3s, because there's different versions of cover 3s, it's still going to work on that one also, unless they got you know, certain guys running out down left. So it just kind of depends on if they're running a match versus a stock, you know, standard under and stuff like that. But you know, you run enough, you'll get a feel for knowing that. But when you don't see anybody beneath there, again, those deep ends are very nice this year. I'm starting to work them more so this year than I have in a long time. I just feel that it's with the routes being a lot more pure and the way the game is played, you definitely have, you know, and you've got a lot of good users. You can definitely try and draw them out of areas, and then, you know, and then hit them delayed ends to hit, you know, to come back also. So certain plays I'll design for that. And then give one more look here against the cover 4. The only real, you know, difference with needing to put a streak, you know, we'll do one here, stay in the streak on this. Don't really necessarily need to do it that way or not, but really, I mean, it's still going to work in that is if you let the running back kind of swing down and then put the X on a slant, because the deep end is not going to work on the X for the cover fours, so you can put a slant on that, so that way, again, you'll have that across the middle. If it's vacated, you're still going to have this. Actually opens up even better against cover four as far as the A route. Again, he's going to have to use your out there to get out there, and if he does, the X is going to be trailing where he left off. The Y on the 3 and the 4 don't use a lot. You will be open on occasion, but you normally have to throw a bullet fairly early and then to the right, and then kind of have to use your guy and cut it off. So it's not while you can make the pass, it's not always going to be worth the risk to make that pass. You're normally going to want to look on the right here for the A receiver. You do have that swing out there also, and again the X will be there if he vacates. The user's vacating, so I could hit it on most of those times also. So there's kind of a choice one. You just don't want to be forcing any of the passes, and then like I say, that's how you're going to have to hit the deep one if you're running for that. Like I said, you can be done, but it's just how comfortable you are. Clicking on and going to the right, and then like controlling your receiver after a play like that, because you definitely don't want to be carried to the back level and get hit, right after you catch it. So you kind of want to be coming across to the right, in a sense there, pulling it more, vertical. I mean horizontal across the plane there to catch those. So and then again, you're going to be able to hit the sides, hit that X a bunch when you have the cover four like that. So that's kind of a full range of that one. And now I'm going to get into another play here. Sorry, I didn't get the intro with the art of it. I actually cut that out, but it's very similar look here. There's a lot of elements are the same, but the running back is going to give you that quick out bench, and that's what really is nice about a play like this to work in also, because that's especially if you got like a speedy guy, David Johnson, Jamal Charles, even something like that, even Lamar Miller here, something like that. It'll work out for you. You'll be able to beat some of the blitzes also, manned up blitzes and stuff like that. It can work, and then. But again, if you want to bring B, put him on a streak and bring him out to the right, you can leave him on his little curl. He's on that little hitch route also. You don't always have to streak him. Sometimes you can leave him there just for to have a route to left behind. But and the A is not going to break as well on this one as the other. It's just the other one is a really nice. The unique deeper version, but it still will get open. But yeah, you're better off still keeping the levels out here. You're going to have the Y on the short in route, and the deep in again, depending on coverage here, it will be open. So you just if you want, you can keep an eye on that side also, and then look for the Y underneath there. If it looks like the linebacker's floating left, then the Y is going to be open like right there, and they can just turn that up. So it's very similar is the other play, so that's why I said it's not full scheme, because some of the these two plays are kind of close, but it's worth using both versions, because again, the running back out of this one will give you a nice play along with some of these. There you go. These both sides of the field have a route combo that should get somebody open with whatever they're running for the most part. So it's just about, and this was more of a quick read play. It's not really a play that you're going to want to go and hold the ball very long. So you want to at least kind of be set, read the defense, try and get an idea where the coverage is going to be, and be ready. Like if you only have a certain window for hitting the running back, for example, coming out of the backfield, and then so you can start to the right and kind of use the fallback on the left. But if that they're not really running anybody underneath, though, that's when you can just look straight left and hit that deep in right on the turn for that one also. So like I say, getting a little bit more into longer into these than normal, just because we've got fewer play here. Next one we're going to get into over here is going to be the smash stick. This one is just another situational. I'm kind of just going to be running this one in a sense for that quick hitter underneath, kind of using these two routes here. Going to get B motion left, put him on a streak, and then X is going to be on a slant. You can of course hit that corner with a Y. It's not a great one in itself though, so again, you don't want to be forcing that ball, but you can make some of these. If you're out right there, no one's over the top, but an up bullet, kind of late on that one, but you can definitely turn that one up if you get behind the guys. But you're going to have to know safety out there for it really to matter though. But what's really nice about this, kind of like the pick play, as you see here, when we have these two routes coming off, which you can hit the streak on or whatever one you want to hit. and you can kind of get yourself a pick play underneath for the slant with the X. So he'll come underneath. So if you just need a quick few yards, you'll have that. You have the streak off the line here with after you motion him left. So you don't want to sleep on that either. Running streaks up the seams a few years back was really strong. Pretty decent in here. It really is always going to be coverage dependent. Some of them will leave a giant gap there. So right off the line, I'm looking for that. And then afterwards, like I say, here's the underneath here. As they just set up a nice screen, a nice little wall, and it makes it harder for the guy to get underneath. So if you got decent catch and traffic on your guy, it should be an easy 4 yards as long as your user's not going to be jumping that little area if he's aware of it. But it's just something, like I say, situationally. And another way you can run it is by putting the A on the streak and then motioning B out to the left there, and you can put him either on an in or on a drag. That also will get the X open that way. Y is gonna screen him open, and you might even be able to peel off the middle linebacker off to the right, coming with that drag off the line. So that's another way you can run that just to get that open. And again, the seam's going to work on the other side. Again, any of your guys in the middle of the field, your tight end and your slot should always have high catch and traffic, so you can make plays like that at a higher rate, make it more worth doing. You don't want to be dropping those balls thinking the plays don't work because you guys, someone's just getting near them and they're dropping passes. So that's definitely a major focus on the players that I use for any of the scheme stuff here. But both ways will work on this. So sorry if you're confused by some of the way it's written down. But yeah, this was a video that was definitely worth getting the descriptions down, understanding the way that I'm running these plays, because they're a little bit more like living sort of plays in there, to where you can kind of come up, read the coverage, and kind of make your moves off of it versus running some of them set all the time. We'll get one more out here as far as this, and this is going to be the halfback slip screen. And basically what I'm showing here, and you can do this with almost pretty much any of the screens here, just motioning a receiver and snapping a ball, which turns him into a blocker. It's just a way to really get another blocker to make it, sometimes if they blitz and stuff like that, they get your QB down faster. This will get your quarterback a little bit more time more often. It kind of confuses the play a little bit also for the defender, possibly. And so like running this play, for example, it really doesn't matter which guy I'm going to be moving across. They'll all work the same purpose. So it's if they're running man coverage and something's going to lock down the play, that's not going to change. So this isn't making this thing OP by any means, but it does help. It does seem to play it unfolds better this way. I definitely don't take as many hits throwing the ball as without doing that. So just something to keep in mind. And a lot of times also when you're looking to pick any of the screen passes, one of the good things to do is to look out and see if there's any routes that you can default to if they do have a man. It's nice to have just some sort of slant going the opposite direction of the play or something. So that combined with doing this, so just make sure that's not the guy that you're moving. But those are the screens I like to do. Even though I really don't run too many this year, it's not really something I'm looking at. But if you're doing that, mix this in on occasion. Don't do it every time, so that way it's easy for them to tell. But we have enough motion in all the plays that we do that it's going to be hard to pick up anything like this anyway. Just because there's motion runs in these sets. We motion a lot of passes on our own, so as long as you continue to have that, you're using sets like that, it's going to continue to be effective. So there's just a couple more plays in here for y'all to focus on. I really do like the play action slot post, so that's really the one that I run more than anything. So even if there was only one play out of here I picked, it'd be the play action slot post. So hopefully these will work out for you guys. I'll be back into it, getting some more out though. There's definitely enough formations that we should be able to get a couple more out before I wrap this one up and then start hitting the gameplays with it hard and getting the system tightened up. So thanks for checking this out, guys, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace.